and thanks for joining us for another edition of Praha TV Weekly News. I'm Marcela Tomčíková, bringing you the highlights and headlines from Prague and Central Bohemia. Everything you need to stay informed and connected. The record support for bridges or roads. Prague managed to obtain a grant support of 325 million crowns for bridge and road repairs from the State Fund for Transport Infrastructure. The councillors of the capital city of Prague have already approved the acceptance of this financial contribution. This money will go to both implemented projects, such as the reconstruction of the Barandov Bridge, and also to planned construction projects, among them repairs of the Southern Link, modernization of the North-South Highway, installation of the noise protection measures, and also modernization of traffic signs.
In Prague, it has been possible to secure a record support of 325 million crowns for the repairs of the bridge and significantly from the other transport infrastructure fund. The council of the capital city of Prague has already approved the acceptance of this financial contribution.
These finances will be used for things that have already happened, like the reconstruction of the Barandov Bridge, which is essential. Moreover, the funds will also cover future needs, like repairs on the southern connector, which are necessary for traffic flow.
Among other initiatives is the modernization of the north-south corridor, where the manual traffic lane will transform into a lively urban thoroughfare that fosters connections among people, urban amenities and individual city districts. Plans include adjustments to surrounding streets, new crossings, cultivation of nearby parks, squares and public buildings. Moreover, the project includes the installation of flood control measures and the updating of traffic signage, which are crucial for public safety.
So I must assert that these hundreds of millions will again contribute to ensuring that we have repaired roads, bridges, and effective traffic signs, which I believe are not a luxury, but a basic necessity for ensuring safe and timely movement for everyone, so that people can move around safely and without unnecessary delays.
With this action, Prague shows that it is capable of efficiently and effectively using state grant programs related to essential transport infrastructure in the capital city.
And we go on with the tunnel buses. Prague 5 councillors are asking the capital and transport organizer Rapid to introduce a new bus line that would connect Smíchov and Davice via the Prahav tunnel and the Blanka complex. While the connection between Prague 6 and 8 could be implemented as early as 2026, the plan for Prague 5 is complicated by the technical limitations of the Prahav tunnel, which does not meet safety requirements.
The Council of the 5th District calls on the capital city and the company Rapid, which organizes public transport in Prague and its surroundings, to urgently implement a bus route connecting Prague 5 and Prague 6, which will traverse the Strahov Tunnel and the Blanka Tunnel complex.
The integration of the Strahov Tunnel and the Blanka Tunnel complex has greatly facilitated driver movement in Prague, and it would be unfortunate not to make use of it, to ensure that this is also utilized by bus lines. For Prague 5, we want to offer our citizens primarily a faster and more comfortable connection between Smíchov and Davice. Simultaneously, it would ease the tram route number 20 along the same path, which is quite heavily utilized.
Other city areas, especially Prague 6 and 8, are also in favor of the tunnel connection proposal.
This is something we have been working towards for a long time. I have personally been involved for about 8 years to ensure that the city ring tunnels also serve public transport, because the connection between Prague 6 and Prague 8 or Prague 9 is currently the fastest route, while traveling by public transport takes twice as long.
We basically support this idea because we think it's a good way to link our two city districts, Prague 8 and 6. Currently, there is no direct connection between our city districts. The public transport route is long and involves several transfers, so this tunnel bus, as we call it, should make the journey easier, faster, and without transfers.
The line that was realistically evaluated runs from Vítězné náměstí through Hračanská and continues through the Blanka Tunnel complex to Holešovice, along Holešovičky Street to Kobylisy, and on to the Chimice residential area.
From our perspective, it would significantly help, as the transport or connection between Prague 6 and Prague 8 is essentially non-existent. Currently, we are waiting for a tram connection that should run from Podbaby to Troja.
Ropit, in cooperation with the police, tested the so-called tunnel buses weeks ago to check if they can be used in the heavy traffic of the Blanca Tunnel Complex.
Regarding the Blanca Tunnel Complex, it is definitely feasible to run buses there. However, necessary adjustments at the tunnel entrances are still being examined to ensure the smooth flow of buses, so they do not get stuck in traffic before the tunnel. When the tunnel entrances are regulated, for instance. Regarding the Prahav tunnel, we regret to inform you that we cannot run a regular bus service there until it is reconstructed, due to non-functional emergency exits. Since they are not accessible, we will regrettably have to wait a few more years for the Prahav tunnel.
The connection to the 9 will probably have to wait a bit longer. However, the tunnel bus link between Prague 6 and Prague 8 might be established in 2026.
Prague will host its first Olympics this year, the Children and Youth Olympics. Since 2003, the individual regions of the Czech Republic have taken turns hosting it every year. And this time, it's the capital city's turn. Small and young athletes from all over the country will compete in 23 sports.
Between June 21st and June 25th, 2026, the capital of the Czech Republic will welcome the finest young sports talents from all over the nation. The Summer Games are held in even-numbered years and the Winter Games in odd-numbered years, providing athletes with a genuine Olympic experience. The Summer Games feature various disciplines such as athletics, basketball, badminton, floorball, canoeing, swimming, and orienteering.
Every big event means, for the city where it takes place, it is a reminder of its international standing, which will naturally increase.
There are 23 sports in total, with venues located throughout Prague, such as in Vinoš, where competitions will occur. Events will occur in the Unib Arena, at Chodov Hall, and in Prague Troja, where a well-known canal hosts European and world races. Even here behind us, sports will take place, including rowing and sprint canoeing.
The Olympic logo was created by student Rosa Paleta, inspired by the Vltava River flowing through Prague.
It is inspired by the river's flow, representing the movement of the water, symbolizing the athletes. There are two figures next to each other, which allows representation, that not only is sports individual, but it also involves some team play.
Prague is set to host the sets for the first time next year, being the final region to participate in the organization. After this year, we will truly be able to say that all regions have taken turns in hosting. Some regions have even hosted the Olympics twice.
Young athletes from 10 to 16 years old, representing various sports from all over the Czech Republic, received support from adult Olympians.
I'm happy that Slovakia has finally included a program for Olympic children and youth after a long time, which I believe is significant for all. It's a big motivation for every athlete since it's a major event.
This is actually the first time that children represent something other than their club. In this case, the region. And we are trying to incorporate all the attributes of a multi-sport event, meaning there is a ceremonial closing and the flame is lit. There is an Olympic village where we try to accommodate as many children as possible together, which is why we utilize university dorms. They earn medals just like they do at the Olympics.
The opening ceremony will take place at the Slavia Football Stadium in Eden, Vršovice.
Prague Zoo doesn't just care for animals which live there. Thanks to In Situ project, it helps to return endangered species back to the wild and protects them directly in their original habitats, from Mongolia to Kazakhstan.
The Prague Zoo is not just a popular tourist spot anymore. It plays an important role in saving endangered animal species. In many cases, it returns them to the wild, while in other instances, it helps directly in their native habitats.
We implement a number of projects that we call in situ, meaning they are in the areas where these animals are found. In a certain sense, it would be more appropriate to talk about biodiversity conservation projects. In any case, it is about helping endangered or critically endangered animal species.
One of the most important projects is the reintroduction of Przewalski's horses to their native habitat, which the Prague Zoo has successfully accomplished 9 times in western Mongolia. Last year, a trio of horses traveled to Kazakhstan, and this June 2nd, another group will fly to the country.
2 planes will be flying, one from Prague, naturally, and the other from Debrecen, Hungary. The aim is to transport a sufficient number of Przewalski's horses, and these two locations are selected for specific reasons. Loading them is relatively complicated, so splitting it between two locations makes it easier and safer for the animals. But it is also safer for the animals.
Only carefully chosen suitable individuals will be part of the transport.
Nonetheless, this is the appropriate age. They were 3 or 4 years old, which is enough for them to be adequately developed, but at the same time still capable of easier acclimatization. Of course, we concentrate on the sex of these animals. We need to ensure there are more females and assess their health. We also consider, to some degree, the personality traits of each individual.
Prague Zoo also takes care of lesser-known species. One such species is the critically endangered wild camel, which faces threats from climate change and habitat destruction.
The most important aspect of this program is the insurance population directly in Mongolia, in Gobi A, under human care, where we have control over it, to keep the population healthy and thriving. Reintroduction into the wild is one option, but currently, this population primarily serves as insurance in case something happens to the wild population.
Currently, there are roughly 1,000 wild camels in the wild found only in Mongolia and China. Zoo Prague is also working on breeding them in Prague.
From Žofín to Slavonic House, Slovanský dům, the Prague 1 district prepared a traditional seniors ball for its older citizens. Although it's an annual event with a rich tradition, this time it had to look for a new location. Žofín Palace could not host the event this time, so the festive event was moved to the representative premises of the Slavonic House for the first time. But no one minded and tickets were completely sold out. Seniors could look forward to a rich cultural program full of dances, songs and many surprises.
Although the ball season has officially been over for a long time for seniors from the Prague 1 district, the evenings full of dancing have not yet ended. The Slavic House hosted a traditional ball for seniors. While this event is indeed traditional, it was usually held at the Žofín Palace, but due to disagreements, it had to be relocated to the Slavic House's representative spaces this time. The alternative space did not detract from the enjoyment in dancing, and seniors filled the hall to its last corner.
It's mainly for seniors from Prague 1. Seniors who have tickets, if they collected them from us, have free entry. It is a wonderful opportunity for seniors to meet, and they can even invite their own guests to connect with them at such a large social event, to enjoy a wonderful evening.
The concept is to entertain the guests, to encourage them to mingle, and to enhance their evening with enjoyable music, to dance and forget about the everyday worries they have. I hope that we will enhance this idea for them with our program selection and overall concept today.
This event is a gesture of gratitude for our senior citizens in Prague and our neighbors. This marks the conclusion of the whole year. Under the leadership of Mrs. Helenka Čelešová, the Social Services Center organizes a variety of cultural and sports activities for seniors. This is truly the crowning moment of the whole year.
And it was Mrs. Čelešová from the Prague 1 Social Services Center who ensured that the program was truly packed and diverse.
It is an amazing program, essentially intergenerational. Mr. Petr Rezlik will be the moderator. We will have a small preparatory group performing Mozart, which will be very gentle and poetic. There will also be flamenco and a dance group of our senior ladies. The Radamali in Hartha band, with singer Nicholas Put, will provide musical accompaniment.
Naturally, the event concluded with the crowning of the ball's king and queen, plus a few surprises. People ate, drank, and danced until 10 o'clock in the evening, and the seniors from Prague 1 are already looking forward to attending the ball together again next year, maybe once more at the Žofín Palace.
Dive into the world of historical globes, rare maps and travelogues in the new temporary exhibition at the Lobkowicz Palace. Discover how our ancestors depicted the world. The exhibition offers a look at restored globes, rare maps and a video presentation that shows the craftsmanship of their creator and brings individual cartographers and their work closer together.
And yet it is round. That is the title of the exhibition of rare cartographic works at the Lobkowicz Palace. Within the Baroque structure, guests can explore historical globes, maps, and travel writings.
The older globes date back to the year 16 from the Netherlands, created by the prominent cartographer of that time, Jodocus Hondius. These globes are interesting both for their craftsmanship, as they are based on the latest knowledge of cartographers at the time, of travelers and navigators.
In the exhibition, the globes are shown in pairs, a common practice for each terrestrial globe. In the 17th century, customers received a so-called heavenly globe.
This means zodiac signs and constellations. The Hondius globe from the year 16 is interesting because it illustrates newly discovered constellations from the beginning of the 17th century.
The heavenly globe includes the lesser-known constellation Tucana and a citation from the famous astronomer Tycho Brahe.
To the potential users of that globe, it actually guarantees that. The globe is indeed crafted according to the latest knowledge and cites Tycho Brahe to support the quality of the globe.
Traveling was rare in the early modern age, so old globes show continents along with many notes and labels.
The map makers frequently included different descriptions or annotations in their maps. These descriptions represent either the lands shown on the globe, their inhabitants, or notable features, which they obtained from various sailors and travelers.
Today we can almost perfectly map the entire globe thanks to satellite images. The inaccuracies of historical maps can seem somewhat amusing. The exhibits are, however, preserved witnesses to the development of world representation.
Regarding the American continent, we can find that some areas are not yet accurately depicted, because they were not as well known at the time.
Even the unexplored areas were written about, including in travelogues. For example, a travelogue by Athanasius Kircher from the 17th century describes China, even though the author had never been to that country.
He based his descriptions on what he heard or read from other travelers and Jesuit missionaries, among others. It is complemented by very interesting images, such as descriptions of large bats that have cat heads and human bodies, or different fascinating turtles. The turtle is depicted flying there.
The exhibition also includes educational programs for schools to help students understand the development of world mapping techniques. As part of the workshops, participants also have the opportunity to experience the work of a cartographer firsthand.
That's it for this week's Praha TV Weekly News. We are not wrapping out. We go right to the terrain to be right back with more stories from Prague and Central Bohemia next week. Thank you for spending part of your time with us. I'm Marcela Tomčíková, and on behalf of the whole team, I wish you a peaceful and inspiring week ahead. Stay safe, stay curious, and see you next time.